Afternoon, guys. How are we all doing? Welcome into the US session with TRDR as we look at a slightly subdued market. I don't think that'll remain for too long. I think we will get some volatility soon. Looking for a further expansion, obviously, on the higher time frames. I think we do get higher time frame. Milk is in. Mother's Milk is in. Welcome in. I think we do get some higher time frame expansion at some point. But what I wanted to start with doing is, if you guys are obviously all familiar with this console, I would say you've been watching the order flow pretty closely, and you can all see the kind of order blocks we've got above us at 72 and some order blocks below. So what I wanted to start with is just have a look at a little bit of a higher time frame perspective, and let's all have a fresh pair of eyes on the levels where we are, and a fresh pair of eyes on the order flow today, as it's been a boring 24 hours, 48 hours even. Price really hasn't moved, has it, for 48 hours, to be honest. So let's have a little bit of a higher time frame look, and then we'll dive into some order flow, and we'll have a look at what the volume and the open interest is doing as well. All right, so here we are, just starting off on a 1 hour time frame. As we can see from this template, we are in a slight aggregated supply zone with a little bit elevated open interest and slightly elevated funding. But if we're going to get a big breakout, I think the funding's going to rise anyway. You're just going to have to deal with that anyway. All right, so what I want to do is just have a quick look. Let me just revert back and go to a 4 hour. I just want to have a quick look at basically a 4 hour time frame and where we are. Everyone, I expect, is pretty bored of this range by now. And what I want to do is just very, very simple. Let's have a look left and see where we are. Okay, so value area highs of this 4 hour range that we are effectively still in, because we've not had expansion out, have we? We obviously got big deviation down into the value area low, but we've not had any major expansion out yet. I am in favor of that. I think that will come because we're in a trending market. Okay, we're in a trend range trend market. BTC halving, supply getting eaten up on BTC, as we all know. BlackRock are getting their dirty hands on all the Bitcoin they can get. I think we're probably in for a rate cut from a few of the major countries, but the US obviously as well. I believe that could be a beginning of July, I think. No expert, so don't take my word for it on that. I'm no expert in legacy markets whatsoever, but I think we're in for a bit of a rate cut, which could give us a little bit of volatility through the summer, which I would like. I think that'll be good for us all, rather than a boring price action summer. So I think that could be quite good. So with that being said, let's just dive in a little bit and see where we are. So top of the range has been defended, obviously, from the all-time highs, as we all know, near that 74k zone. Okay, we then start to form a range. We hit the value area lows, bid comes in, and we get really nice volatile reactions. Okay, we then, as we start to expand on the range as the days go on, days and weeks go on, we then start to hit the value area lows. But it takes a lot more bid and a lot more volume to push price up. And it's just, we just didn't get in this area, did we? So we came back down, got that deviation, and we float back up. Now, what I want to quickly point out is, obviously, we are in this 4 hour zone, kind of trending up, aren't we? What I want to point out is we've blitzed this supply here at this 72k level once already. We came back down, caught a little bit spot bid, as you can see with the green circles there, our order book overlay. Then go and tap the value area high of the range, come back. We just really, we've held on to that monthly open. I know it's not too old now, is it? But we've held that monthly open. What is the range POC down there as well? So very boring PA in there from the past weekend. And then we've expanded up again, and we're just hitting a load of supply now. The thing is, this will sound obvious to range traders out there, but what we have to expect now as range traders is at some point in the near future, one side, so supply side or demand side, is going to crack and break and we get expansion. Now, yes, higher time frame, I am still in favor of an expansion up. Okay, timing wise and when that comes, not sure, and that's why we look at the order flow. But I just wanted to have a little look at where we are now, okay, and a look left and see all the areas we've broke. Okay, so with that being said, what levels can we look at right here, right now? Okay, so let's dive into a little bit of order flow. But I think you have to admit that I think this looks quite nice, to be honest. I'm not bearish in the slightest, even though I've pointed out on some of the socials, the Discord and the Telegram, that I would like a sweep lower to hit some of those order blocks that we will go and have a look at now. I'm not bearish here. I just have to point that out. I just think open interest is a little bit saucy. You could argue that we deserve some high open interest at these high price point levels, okay, as you're attacking these levels. Very valid, okay, so open interest is going to rise. That's absolutely very valid, along with your funding. So I would never look at funding and open interest as you're attacking these kind of high levels and, you know, get fearful, really. I wouldn't get fearful, but I'm just not sure we're quite ready right here, right now, to get an expansion. But let's go and check some order flow now. So yeah, looking left, all looks good. Value area high just coming in there. That's just over 70k, we'll call it. And then monthly open and range POC, 67-ish, but obviously the POC changes as we move along. Right, let's have a look then. Let's drop to some lower time frames and check out some order flow. Right, so we are going to obviously just deep dive into Bitcoin for a second. Then we're going to have a look at some of Vitalik's coin. Vitalik's boring coin had one little pump, bit of volatility on ETF, and it's died off. But to be honest, that's exactly what Bitcoin did. On its ETF approval, it kind of grinded its price down and then was up only for months on end. Right, so let's make this really obvious. And obviously, if you guys are familiar with the console, you'll have been looking at this anyway. If you're not familiar with the console, what we are looking at is offer, resting limit, order blocks above us, defending 72k, 73k, and then we've got one a lot higher at 75k as well, okay? Where our alert overlays, we've had a few BTC diamonds in this zone, okay? So a very valid hedge position, I would say, hedge short. I wouldn't personally look for any kind of swing short position, especially in the kind of a little bit risk on environment that I believe we are still in, to be honest, okay? But yeah, nice hedge position. And yeah, what we're seeing is basically order block still defending above us at 72k. If we then just look at the order book depth widget ratios, we can see we've really not had much spot follow through to kind of come in under price here, dynamically come into price and say, yeah, I want to, you know, I'm willing to bid this up, okay? I've got conviction, I'm willing to bid this up and smash your ask wall, whoever this is, whatever entity it is, whether it be an exchange or market maker, whatever entity it is, you know, that conviction to push us through that 72k. We could see it. We could see us just go and wick into this zone. That, you know, very valid as well. But we are in a supply zone. It's going to take quite a lot. I'm not seeing it in the order flow right now in the order books. It's going to take something a little bit special, I would say, maybe from like a market buy-in or something, to really ram price up here. Okay, so what we'll do is after we've reviewed this, we'll go and have a look at the volume and open interest, okay? But you can just see from the spot exchanges in the top here, no real follow through. Bitstamp has got some selling, again defending that 72 to 72.5 area. Coinbase Pro, they've been doing some selling, but they have got their levels a lot higher up, and that level's been there for a while. If you were on us on the live on Discord on Tuesday, that this order block up here has been here for a while. They have been doing a little bit of filling, okay? So Coinbase Pro have actually been doing a little bit of bid up here at these high levels as well. Don't know who's executing there, but again, it just takes conviction from someone to think, you know, that we are going higher. All right. Gemini Twins are doing some selling here as well. Again, they don't do great volume to particularly push the price, so I won't put too much emphasis on those guys. Qcoin, not a lot to see. What's interesting is perps have been doing, so Binance perps, just acknowledge I'm on a 15-minute basis here. Binance perps have been doing a lot of selling in this zone as well. When Binance perps tend to get involved like this, I don't really like to argue with them, to be honest. More often than not, they are on the correct side of the trade. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we've had quite a lot of selling going on here. if 72s are in validation. It could get broken, that's all I'm saying. It could get broken, but yeah, we'll have to see. As we all see as well, you can see it on the overlay bands here, but the bid from where you get like a chasing bid like this, which is obviously good for that kind of lower time frame trend continuation, the bid has fallen away a little bit. Now, the bigger bands are still here, but they are basically now 5 to 10% away, okay? So bigger bands, the daily time frame OI, yeah, we'll go and have a look at it. We'll certainly go and have a look at it. I've been looking at the lower time frame, and I don't particularly like the way the open interest is ramping up. But as I say, at these, if you're going to go and attack higher time frame prices and try and break out of a range, I think that open interest needs to get a little bit ramped up and a little bit fruity. So it wouldn't surprise me to break some of this area 72 and beyond. And then kind of get some volatility, you know, so break this zone, get some volatility in here. Then we'll review, is there some follow-up bid, and we just get a continuation and start to trend again out of this higher time frame 4-hour range? Or is it a little bit of a fake out and we need to go and fill some of the order blocks still, like down here? See, I've been saying this, that I'm in favour of coming and filling some of this, and you can see they've moved up slightly. So it was always 65, 66, but then since the beginning of the week, you've got someone who's quite dynamically coming in on spot here and saying, I want to fill at 67. So on spot, it's quite a distance away from price, but you are already getting someone or some entity coming in and saying, I want to fill, you know. So someone is a little bit eager to fill. It's just whether we give them that opportunity. Do we give them that opportunity, or do we just run it here and make everybody else chase it? All right, so yeah, no immediate bid. I think, Binance Perps have just come in for a little bit there. Okay, so Binance Perps are just coming in 2.5 to 5% away. That might just give us a little push up today, and then we'll review and see what happens. Right, let's quickly go look at volume and open interest then, and we will have a look at it on higher time frame. Okay, so this is something I said to look out for on the Discord live, was basically, this was on a lower time frame. If you were going to get some kind of hedge position, this is kind of what you wanted to see. You wanted to see these higher highs on weakening volume with the high open interest, obviously 15-minute basis just here. LS ratio really high, and funding absolutely ramping up as well. Funding is not exactly too extravagant. Okay, you know, what we are on, I always look at Bybit because they're absolute degens. Bybit 0.015, all right? Nothing spectacular. And again, I just have to repeat, you're gonna have to expect the open interest and funding to rise if we're gonna crack these zones. So never trade off that alone. You know, check the order flow, check the volume and the like. But yeah, bearish volume on lower time frames. In this kind of lower time frame area, as retail try to get long here, sustaining high open interest as funding comes up as well. Okay, so retail guys trying along this zone as funding comes up and you're sustaining high open interest. For me personally, if we do crack on and just break up here, that's absolutely fine, especially if you're holding some risk from those range lows, 56, 57k, or even that 60k that held really nicely the other week, and then we just moved up to the top of the range from the 60k level. Okay, so if we do move up, great, you need to be prepared for that. But I just, on lower time frames, which, you know, might not be the best, because if we're going to push up, it's going to be quite, you know, should be quite spectacular. Lower time frame, I just don't like this recipe of volume winding down with that sustained high open interest. That's all I would say. So I'd prefer to come down 67, 66k now. Will we get it? Who knows? Who knows? Right, let's go and have a look at little higher time frames while we're here then. So yeah, similar on 1 hour time frame, slightly slower look back on this volume template, some of you guys will appreciate. Volume drifting off a bit. You could say it's starting to trend up, okay? But yeah, spectacularly high open interest there. What I'll do is, let me just go to liquidity as well and check that. So yeah, spot liquidity is coming right up, really grinding up as well. Do we set new parameters on that? Maybe that is the case. Let me go to a 4 hour. So if you just don't concentrate on the top chart at the minute, we're just going to have a look at the liquidity. Yeah, so spot liquidity really high here. Generally we would say that's an area you would risk off a little bit, okay? So high spot liquidity, yeah, 4 hour basis I'm just looking at the minute, and open interest on the 4 hour high as well. This is why I think I posted on Twitter, didn't I? I would prefer some real violence downwards, like a real V-shape kind of wick action on a 8 to 12 hour basis, really volley it down into that 66 zone, maybe 66, 67 zone, really V-shape, volley it down, get some real violent price action going, wipe the open interest, wipe the order books, get panic mode setting in where traders are just going, shit, which way is it going, when, if you can help yourself, just be prepared for those levels. Right, if you're long already, yep, okay, I want this level to hold. Below there, that's my invalidation. Or I'm looking to get a bit more risk on. Where do I want to get risk on? And, the order blocks and the order flow will help you with that. Let me just go to a daily time frame then. Right, so I've just got... yeah, so this is what I could do is I could look at an open interest on a standard. I've just got this on our RSI metric. Okay, so open interest on an RSI metric. Yep, certainly getting quite hot. Okay, but in a trending market, let's have a look at the last places it was very hot was here. Okay, so right, let me draw a vertical line for everybody out there. Okay, so you had high open interest here. That then sustained a range for quite a while in December that I'm sure we all remember. Okay, so you got a range for quite a while there, just over 20 odd days or something. We had quite high open interest here. Okay, and absolutely just ripped, absolutely ripped. Couple of differences. I don't know if you guys can spot them already. We'll have a look together. And then obviously the ultimate was there, and let's just drop a line on that one there as well. Okay, so yeah, certainly can be risk off areas. What I would say is, as we just look at this together, is first of all, I think back at this area it was December 23, so quite a while ago. I think we're setting new parameters in levels for these kind of indicators, all right? Back at this one, I remember this one, I think it was just a massive initial short squeeze to start the market moving again. Because if you look at how high the open interest was, but liquidity in the books, quite chilled, wasn't it? Whereas if you compare it to some of these two here, open interest very high, but liquidity in the books also very high. Okay, so I don't like to draw comparisons on everything, especially when you're at the top of the range in a bullish trending market and we could break up. But the difference is, yeah, so you've got high open interest, but spot liquidity is very high. Okay, so like these zones. Perps liquidity, no edge really, kind of diddle in the middle, isn't it? So yeah, interested to see what happens on perps liquidity there, but I would still prefer some sort of wipeout in the market, a little bit of violence downwards preferably, because then that's just going to, all being well, go and give us a bid. Okay, at the levels we're looking at, it's going to go give us a bid. It's going to get people fearful because they're just going to go, oh, for fuck's sake, right, we're ranging all summer again and that's it, so just be prepared for some of those levels. So yeah, open interest certainly is high. I would just let me just get a normal open interest on. Yeah, so just even a pretty standard open interest. Yeah, it's getting up there. It's getting up there. What I would say is you're going to have to if we're going to continue in a nice bullish trending market, like I kind of do expect, you know, for the next year, maybe even year and a half or so, who knows, you're going to set new parameters in stuff like open interest, you know, especially when you think of a lot more players coming in the market, so a lot more contracts opening, and all the rest of it. So, you know, yeah. Let me just, who I got on this then? Who have I got on this? Let me just get rid of this. Let me get rid of TUSD. Is anyone using TSD? Let me know if you are. Jesus. Perpetuals, and I've got everyone on there. CoinM, I'm gonna take off. No, I won't take off anyone. Right, let me just get a nice line on. Yeah, so it's the same thing, isn't it? Really. Yeah. It's certainly up there. It is certainly up there. What we're at, 18 billion. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's high. It is high. Little wipeout preferred, if I'm absolutely honest. Right, what do we need to go look at next? Let's go to so yeah, not volume, lower time frame volume and open interest, LS ratio, if you're familiar with this template, and funding. Nice cluster there, like we've had back here as well, which was at the top there with 3 BTC diamonds. Nice area to hedge position, I think. And if you get invalidated, so be it. That's just what happens, isn't it? Okay. Right. Let me just go back. What we're pushing to. What I would keep an eye on is it's very obvious, and you can certainly take this order block here, but just watch for if someone pulls it. You know, you could then certainly easily go and take 73. But if you're going to start floating up here, why stop there? You know, why stop there? Let's just carry on, I say. Let's just get it over with. Let's get it over with and carry on. Send the full market. I mean, it's one thing to say I would like a little bit lower. You know, I'm seeing supply. I'd like a little bit lower. I don't like the volume and open interest here. But let's be honest, we're all here because we want price to go up, aren't we? You know, or you should be. You should be, in theory. So if price goes up, so be it. Great, you know, absolutely brilliant. Right, let's have a look at. Right, I'm going to have a look at Vitalik's coin, but I can tell you right now, it's got no edge in the order flow whatsoever. Because your nearest order blocks, you've got some smaller ones that have just dipped down to 375 there, but your nearest order blocks are right down here. And price is not doing a lot. We did obviously get those bids back there. Alert overlays, if anyone's unfamiliar with these are ETH diamonds, and price on ETH is actually grinding up as the entity at 4K has reduced their offers. Okay, so that's interesting to see from ETH. The trouble is, when I was looking at this a while ago, we were like, I think it was 7% or 6% away from these order blocks, and I was thinking to myself, you know, that's doable in a 24, 48 hour period. We can do that. We can just wick down, get some violence down, come down, fill these order blocks and go. But price is grinding up now. And as we float further away, I don't think you're going to be doing 8% Ethereum down in one clip. I don't think. I don't know, but I don't think. So let's just check volume quickly. I mean, fucking hellfire, excuse my language. Look at that. What a mess. What a mess. Yeah, very messy. I'm going to have to go to a 1 hour. Yeah, I mean, no particular edge. Quite flat volume on ETH, but look at that sustained high open interest. I do not like that in the slightest. And again, I do think ETH will follow and will get a rise up, but I don't like the open interest on ETH whatsoever. Another thing to note is if you purely looking at God, if you're just purely looking at the chart on ETH, that's disgusting. Personally, I would prefer to come down. I'd prefer to come down organically on ETH, really. And you know, I've mentioned this before, but let me just zoom in a bit. You know, I would prefer to just at least come and fill some of this wick space here, at the very least. Because this grinding, it's you know, it's horrible. It's not even, we've only, so you've auctioned the top here, but you could say your range only formed from putting in that there. You put in a high, you hit supply, you're now forming a range, but since that area there, we've not even auctioned the lows again yet of this range on ETH, have we? So yeah, just in general, I just don't like this ETH chart one iota. So yeah, wick space would obviously be right down there. 3.6-ish, 3.6 I think would be quite organic and healthy. Fill some wick space, back into range, go. That's best scenario. Do we get it? Don't know. Do the crypto gods give us that opportunity in what is potentially, you know, a bullish market, especially when you think of ETFs and the like. Obviously heard Gary Gensler saying there might be some delays on launching and stuff, but do you really listen to anything that absolute wiener says anymore? I wouldn't be personally. So yeah, ETH similar. If we can get some violence down, that'd be really good. Continuation up. Your biggest order blocks are still at 4K, but as you can see here, whatever entity that is, they have reduced it a little bit. Right, let's go just check ETH BTC a little bit. Okay, so a little bit of activity in ETH BTC from the other week, where people were obviously filling the demands here right before the pump, and then they held price. Okay, so really nice to see that you've got some actual nice order flow coming in, and it's an active market. Yeah, but ETH BTC on Binance, not a lot to see. Biggest order blocks coming right down at that 0.052 area, and then 0.05. Pretty slow mover as it grinds down here. Again, probably doesn't hit some of these zones in one clip, but I think that 0.052 is quite easily doable. And as we just see on the aggregation at the bottom for ETH BTC, looks like death from above, shock and awe, death from above, especially when you look at the ETH BTC from Bitfinex. All right, ETH BTC from Bitstamp, soon to be Robinhood Bitstamp. It was Bitstamp, wasn't it? Was it Bitstamp or was it Bitfinex? Who was it? Let me double check. Oh, I can't be bothered. Tell me in the chat. Was it Bitfinex or Bitstamp? I think it was Bitstamp, wasn't it? Robinhood are buying. Can't remember the tweet now. But yeah, nice to see ETH BTC from Bitstamp, order blocks 0.052 again. So something to keep an eye on. If ETH's going to take a drop, USDT wise and BTC, keep an eye on both as always. Okay, you know, you could even set ETH BTC alerts. All right, if you haven't got one, just give me a shout. I think I've got them somewhere. Yeah, ETH BTC. I think I've only got Bitfinex on it actually. Oh no, I might have to put Bitstamp on there. ETH BTC Bitstamp. There we go. If anyone needs this, give me a shout. I'm not going to put the short side on at the minute. All right, so yeah, a little bit lower if we can, please. Quick check of Bitcoin before we dive into some other shizzle. Still fighting this area, isn't it? Yeah, I don't think this kind of ranging slow market's going to last for too long. Well, I hope not anyway. Yeah, it's been quite a long range, this one, hasn't it? This is a longer range than December, to be honest. Interesting to see, isn't it? Right, give me, I've had a look at a few alts of interest. Give me a shout if there's any you feel I need to look at, or if I miss them as I am going through. I'm not going to go through the full list. Not had too many alerts, actually. ICP is an interesting one, because I did see some order blocks lower. There you go, ICP order blocks there, 11.99. Got a feeling if we do get some, I would just watch what Bitcoin does in the coming hours, because order blocks like this, if the overall market is going to move down, that's what you need to be aware of. If the overall market's going to move down, don't put too much reliance on stuff like this. Yeah, it'll just get ran through, used as liquidity, and then it'll probably reverse as these all get filled anyway. All right, so yeah, but something to keep in mind on you know, maybe Bitcoin holds here for another 12 hours or something. I hope it doesn't for everyone, but if it does, assets like this can fill their bid and move. All right, so ICP's an interesting one. I haven't had too many. Let me look at RNDR. Nvidia coin. Not too much to say on that one. Was it LDR? LDR perps. Okay, no edge there. Yeah, no edge there. Right. So a couple I was looking at, and there's two that I believe are social fi coins. Tell me if I'm wrong. You guys are more expert than me on some of these altcoins, but Gal. Okay, so GalX. And ID, I believe, getting some real spot bids. I don't know if these guys, you see real fat spot bid here. You know, you don't want to ignore stuff like this, especially if you're interested just for your portfolio, whatever your spot portfolio. But Gal and I believe ID is a similar asset. Really bid on pairs, but I think it was spot was looking at some order blocks a bit lower. Yeah, a little bit lower if we can get it, but certainly perps is very keen here. 0.719 or 0.72 in validation there. Nice to see. It's kind of what you do want to see on perps, really. When you've got that grinding price action down, there's almost no edge here. You know, if you just look at this chart in general, there's really no edge there. But I always say this on perps, it's quite nice when you see order blocks here, and then they actually start to chase up. So they start to chase up the price action. Quite nice to see from those two. A gaming coin that I mentioned, I think it was last week. Was it last week? That had really nice bid. It was getting really nice bid. Okay, so someone's really filling on this one is ILV, Illuvium. I think you pronounce it like that. Illuvium has been really bid down in this $80 mark. Okay, we have dipped a little bit lower, but if you're just in a spot position, I won't worry about that. And it's been getting bid again. So this whole 80 to 85 to 88 really bid on Illuvium. I've got a feeling if it comes down again, it's probably just going to get defended again. Really nice chart. Was it Bitstamp, Nelson? Cheers. Thanks, Nelson. I thought it was Bitstamp, but then I questioned myself. Yeah, Bitstamp. I think you know what? It's probably, you know, what do you guys think? I think it's probably good for the market, to be honest. I think it's probably good for the market. You know what it'll do? It will give us more participants, I would think, in the Bitstamp market as Robinhood introduces their degenerates. Okay, so it's going to bring more volume into the Bitstamp market, but it's also going to bring us better order flow as well. If you've got the more people are, you know, trading in certain books, it makes that order flow better. Personally, well, it just does. You know, you get better order blocks, you get better overlays, you get better volume reads. You know, imagine you look at a real low liquidity altcoin and you try and pull up a CVD on it or something. You know, you really struggle to get a good read on those sometimes. So with more volume coming in from Bitstamp, it's going to give us another piece of edge. So obviously Binance is very good, the best. Bybit is good. Wish we had more book depth from Bybit, but we don't. Coinbase pretty good. So it's going to give us guys, I would say, more edge if Bitstamp provide us with more data. But anyway, yeah, moving on. ILV, looking back to the shit coins. ILV moving well. So if you've got a piece of the action on this on spot, I would be very happy to see this getting bid up, especially if you're down from a lot lower. It's good to see price move up for your spot positions and people bid it up higher than what you are in. All right. Another one was, I don't even have a clue what this is. Jupiter Jup, yeah. Really nice order flow from it, okay? So spotted this a little bit earlier. Quite big bid depth coming in now, okay? So it's got quite good order flow. Now again, price can do this on low liquidity altcoins because it likes to grab the liquidity. You'll actually see there, I think that order got pulled. So it's either a case of if you were trying to long that, it would be a case of let yourself get stopped out. you know, and just get in again, because it's probably well beyond a good risk reward to hold that down there, not knowing where it's going. But yeah, quite nice order flow on this. To the other side, price moves up, hits some supply, no real edge. But if you were in a long for any reason, and then you start to see this is a big order block for an altcoin. You know, you're going down for a little bit. They've pulled it now. As price comes down, okay, nearest order block just back at these levels on the 4th. Big order block, 1.1. I'll call it 1.1. All right, and you can just see here the depth coming really in again. I think that's probably from perps. Perps are probably getting a little bit too bullish, a little bit too early. We'll use them as liquidity. Thank you very much. But yeah, USDT, big order block there on Jupiter if you're into it. USDC market on Binance, does that do much volume? I'm not sure it does, to be honest. But anyway, yeah, nice one to see. Nice one to see. Right, another one I wanted to look at, because I don't know if you guys caught it, and I just want to keep an eye on what it's doing now, is actually Liquidity. Don't know if you guys remember how well this one did back in the day. Oh, shocking. Yeah, I did wonder about this. Can be very scammy. That's been pulled, to be honest. I'm not in this in any way, shape or form. I was hoping this would hold so we could, you know, show it as an example on the live, but it's been pulled. That has absolutely been pulled. I don't even need to zoom in on that. Yeah, I reckon that's been pulled, and it's just nuking. Someone was trying to fill some bid. Let me have a look. 1.14, 1 point, and that's from a while ago. Yeah, shame that. Because I wanted to show you guys this, and if what I was looking for, if something like this held, if the market was going to hold today, it's a nice one to show because it's actually on spot that as well. But yeah, a little bit scammy. Perhaps pushing it down. Anyway, we'll forget about that one. Another one I want to go and look at, because I believe I've seen some levels a little bit lower again, is Pepe. Let's go and have a look at Pepe. So obviously Pepe's done really well, and it's now kind of entering a range, isn't it? Like a lot of coins are going to do after they've had really good moves, especially if they're, you know, well, not especially if, but you know, even some of these meme coins, they are entering some quite good ranges, you know, and the price action's quite orderly and sensible for low liquidity meme coins. But yeah, entering a range on Pepe. If you are interested in it, just watch your order blocks a little bit lower, and this is spot as well, so I always do just put a little bit more weight on the spot market. Perps prepared lower as well, but you know, again, just watch the order blocks there. Watch the order blocks as we start to range. Yeah, not a lot to say here. It's been moving well for the past few weeks, hasn't it? And it's just doing that consolidation range that it needs to do. Soy Boy Solana, which I said I wouldn't call it again, but I will. Let me just get rid of that fibber. Not a lot to see. I think it looks good. Quite far away from its lower trend line now, which is at 158, 160. Okay. I would say that pretty much held as support now. If you do get any violence lower, I don't know if you will. I think, let me just go and have a look at spot. Right, well, spot have got an order block at 160. If we do get any mega violence, V-shapes, like I would like, again, you've got some nice levels. Sol 160, that is now your support level, I would say, from higher time frames, quite far away. You won't get, I don't think you're going to get there in one clip. But no one really pushing Sol right here, right now. So when you are seeing flat price action like this, and there's no order flow on it really, you're pretty much going to have to be a little bit reliant on what big boy Bitcoin does, aren't you, to push it one way or another, I would say. Because what you're going to have to do is, it's an auction, isn't it? It's an auction, and you're not finding many buyers or sellers here, so the market is going to have to push it one way or the other to go and find a bid or a sell. Right, give us any alts we need to look at. If you are new and you've got any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat as well, or anything you just, you know, not quite understanding. Don't forget, if you are new, go and grab a link from below for a free trial, and If you're struggling with the order flow or anything, go check out the Academy as well. Really, really good new addition there. Let's go check out what Bitcoin is doing then. Flat price action, spot still selling, as we can see here from the overlays. This aggregated depth here that keeps wicking down is a little bit messy, to be honest, and it's coming mainly from the perps markets. You saw earlier that flash of bid coming in 2.5 to 5% away on BTC. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on there with this. But in general, you're in supply, as we can all see. Interesting that the order blocks a little bit lower have now moved a little bit. Okay, let's just go back and have a little review. Volume. Oh man, let's go to 15 minutes. So volume. Yeah, bring it down, please. Bring it down. Volume is. You've had a little spike into the US session, a little volume kick, which you do tend to get. As we always say, the ring of the bell on the stock market doesn't affect us in crypto here. But with the US guys waking up, we do get those volume kicks. So it's always a nice time to, look for volatility or look for positions. A little bit of a wick there. What did we wick to on perps? Okay. 71.6, I'll call that on perps. All right, similar. Wick, so yeah, wicked up, hit some spot supply. Okay, right. Yeah, if anyone's familiar with this template, not the best recipe going on right here, right now. If you're expecting to crack 72k, that's all I'll say. Happy to prove one wrong, but we'll see. Okay, right, let's go see if there's any movement in the order flow. No. If you didn't know, we do have BTC DOM charts on here as well. I would never be one to do TA on a BTC DOM, but it has helped us in the past with expected volatility, I would say. Not much to see here. Obviously, direction not implied from the DOM, but if you do see this, really, really bid or whatever, then it can imply volatility on this little overlay here. Right, I just want to go check one thing as well is Doge pretty flat. I think Doge needs to go fill some order blocks as well. Interesting that again on a few of these assets we've just put in a wick high on quite a few. Let's go and have a check a few other coins. DOT has filled some lower end bids at the $7 mark and now has some offers above, so very constructive markets, to be honest. I'm going to torture myself and I'm going to go and have a quick look at Link. Oh, finally, right, okay, so on Tuesday when we were looking at Link, there was nothing in the order books whatsoever. It's just starting to tickle a little bit of bid, which if you're a Link Marine, you'd obviously be pleased to see if you want continuation and not go back down to $12 again. So yeah, nice to see. LTC, the old legacy leader in the market, used to give us, when you see LTC moving, it was a real clue on what the rest of the market was doing. I'm sure they were just testing liquidity, but it was really, really funny to see. Right, give us a shout if you've got anything else you need to look at, guys and girls. I just want to have a look at a few other coins while you're all on. Hope everyone got out of the Waves positions if you were still holding a bag from years and years ago. Waves, OMG, and probably a few others to come as well. As some of these markets just die off, don't they? But Waves and OMG certainly, Binance delistings not doing those guys any favour, especially if you're holding a spot bag. I don't know what your expectations would be if one of the biggest exchanges in the market is delisting you. I think you're pretty fucked. Right, Rune. Always like Rune. Always like Rune. Rune is absolutely up only. No real spot bid now. It's just, yeah, consolidating, grinding down a little bit. I'm sure it's going to get some continuation soon. perps are very bid on it, but I wouldn't put too much edge on this right here, right now. If you were looking at stuff like Rune and you're looking at perps, I would look for your lower top levels. So 5.8 there on Rune. All right, guys, I'm gonna torture myself and look at an old school coin. I just want to see what XRP is doing while you guys are on. So the Illuminati Lizard coin is still at 50 cents. I think it was 4 weeks ago when we looked at it, and there's no bid. There's no bid on it, so nothing to see there. Okay, right. So it's got some BTC bid a little bit lower. That's interesting because there was some XRP BTC bid the other week, and I thought, oh, okay, maybe XRP is going to move. Maybe it'll put in a nice move and do something good, but obviously not. Yeah, so interesting. You'll see this on a lot of assets now, maybe for the next couple of weeks. I would kind of just mark off some lower levels, really, in case we do get that violence down. And I'm not going to go through them all, but I've seen this on a few where there's absolute lack of interest in the order flow again. You know, set your alert. So you maybe want to set an alert for if you're interested in XRP. Don't know why you would be. Maybe you are Illuminati Lizard or something, and you're, you know, you think it's going to take over the banking system and all that business. But yeah, set your alerts like a spot alt. Set some alerts, something like spot alt double bands. When XRP hits these levels, you'll get an alert. Don't mean you're going to have to enter straight away, but it's just alerting to say it's in a demand zone. Okay, stuff like that. This would be XRP, BTC, obviously. You can set alerts for that one as well. Right, what is the hat staying on? Is the whiff hat staying on? This is all very orderly, I think. I think everything looks pretty nice for continuation at some point. Yeah, excuse me for being zoomed out there, but yeah, you know, this is just what I expect. Come down, pump it up, range for a bit. You know, almost looks like this is, you know, fucking hell, what market cap is whiff now? But this almost looks like a complex inverse head and shoulders forming, and it's going to catch a bid and get some continuation. Whiff is one to watch though, because the order flow, like I mentioned earlier, when more people start to trade these assets on the exchanges, the order flow gets a lot better, and that has to be said for assets like Whiff. You know, you're looking at a spot order book here. You know, people bidding here. Yeah, it wicks lower, grabs that liquidity, but then it goes. It's got really good order flow. What's Perps like? Perps is messy, to be honest. Perps is messy. So lower liquidity coins, keeping on spot order books. All right, guys. Right, quick check of Big Boy Bitcoin. Nothing. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, this is part and parcel of what Bitcoin has and will become now. Like it or not, I believe it's going to get a little bit more steady and boring, which means one of two things. It's going to be possibly a little bit healthier for your spot portfolio and holding that spot portfolio as it becomes a little bit steady. But if you're into trading violence and volatility, one, Bitcoin will become easier to trade, I believe. But two, you're maybe just not going to get that volatility from it, you know? You're maybe not going to get that volatility. So, you know, if you're trading derivatives day to day, just have a look for something else, and some of the new shinier coins will give you that extra percentage on your portfolio, won't they? Of course they will. Right, so if you've got no questions, guys, what we'll do is we'll call it a day. What I'm going to do tomorrow morning is do a little pop-up session in the TRDR Discord. Okay, just for anyone that's got any questions or anything, a little bit easy in there. If anyone did want to speak or share a screen because they've got an issue, you can join us in there. A little bit more chilled, obviously, and, you know, everyone can chat. You can do voice chat in there as well. All right, guys, so I'll do that tomorrow morning. Nice chilled coffee morning for me. Might be your afternoon, but I'll drop a link for it anyway. And yeah, what do I expect here? Don't know. The trouble is, summary is I'd still like lower. I'd still like to come and test this monthly open now, and you can see the order blocks are moving up slightly. All right, so 67k, 66, ultimate violence 65. Why do I say that? you're in a supply zone with that high open interest, slight volume divs. Okay, so this is all lower time frame stuff. This is all lower time frame day-to-day stuff. I don't like that high open interest. I don't like the volume divs, and we haven't actually since the 57k, 56k, and then when we bounced at 60k, we've not had a lot of order book depth dynamically come in and bid Bitcoin up. The only market that's been really chasing it and bidding it up is Binance Perps, which is absolutely fine. But I would think it'd be nice and organic to come down, wick into this, get some violence, and then go. If we do move up from here, from looking, as we looked at the beginning of the stream, we looked left, we said, right, we've hit this area a load of times, 4 or 5 times, it's the top of the range. As a range trader, forget that you're on Bitcoin, forget that you're at all-time high price. As a range trader, at some point, this zone is going to break, okay? So you just need to be prepared for that. Have your risk managed if you are hedging a short for any reason, just to gain a couple of percent if you think we're going to get it down here. And yeah, let's see. Looking at ETH and stuff, just to highlight again, I think ETH is going to follow Bitcoin. I think whatever Bitcoin does, everything else is going to follow in the next 24, 48 hours. That sounds obvious, but it's not always the case. Sometimes you will get situations where Bitcoin will just hold its level and it'll stay peaceful and it'll give everybody what they want, and altcoins kind of do what they want. Altcoins will just rip, or if they're going to sink down, they'll just do that. But yeah, interesting times. Right, I'll drop a link for the Discord tomorrow. Go check out the Academy if you're interested. Really, really, really in-depth shizzle on there. Nothing that's been covered on the YouTube or anything else before. Really, really good and well worth it. All right, guys. Look, share this if you feel it's been any benefit whatsoever. Don't believe in alpha decay. I think more people should be involved in the market with us, and certainly using this console as well. All right, guys. Hope you have a great day. We'll speak soon. Cheers.